Hello all, here's a quick little answer key to the group work of B4, mostly because the assumptions people make about question number 3 are incorrect. So as I've talked to students, they think that it's just going to be the inverse or like a flipped version of the one above, but I'll go through how to reason so that you understand that it is not exactly the same scenario. We tried to do question 1 in class, but if we didn't get to this one as a group, let's look at it here. The example we have is a jet ski. So here's my diagram of a jet ski. It's not very good. But diagrams are super important because they help us understand what the question is asking. In the first question, it says that we have a jet ski that is traveling directly north. Now, it tells you the resultant velocity from somebody who's watching from the side. So if a person is watching, the resultant vector is that the jet ski is only traveling 4.53 meters per second north. But that's because the jet ski is traveling with a speed of 8.3 meters per second. And the river is traveling with a speed that is directly opposite of the jet ski. So in this example, the jet ski's motion is opposed by the motion of the river to produce a final resultant vector. And so the math we do in class to show that if you add these two vectors together, tip to tail, you see that the velocity of the river must be negative 3.77 meters per second. That's what produces this resultant vector. So that question is used to answer the following two questions. Question 2 asks you to determine the width of the river. And so in my diagram here, I show that the river is straight across. That's the width is the question. How far is it from this side to this side? And in this example, the velocity of the river does not affect the velocity of the jet ski. They are in different dimensions. They are perpendicular to each other. So whether the velocity of the river is 3 meters per second or 100 meters per second, it has no impact on the vector of the jet ski overall. It has an impact on a resultant vector that would be visible here, but overall, if the question is basically from across the river, you can use the velocity of the jet ski in the horizontal direction and the time it takes to determine the displacement in the horizontal direction. So these two vectors are independent because they are in different dimensions, and so we can solve using this rearranged equation of velocity is equal to displacement divided by time. And so I rearrange it to show that displacement is velocity times time. And you can analyze it with units to show that meters per second times seconds will show the seconds canceling. That process is actually like super helpful because I made this mistake later on in the problem set, and the reason I caught my error was because I showed that the units need to align. So I encourage you to use units in determining like that your calculations are done correctly, and you should end with a unit of meters for the displacement. So the next question asks, how far downstream does the jet ski travel when it's crossing the river? And since we know that it travels for 25 seconds, and you know that the velocity of the river downstream is 3.77 meters per second to the south, you can use the displacement equation again, basically just the rearranged velocity equation. But this time we're looking in the y dimension, so in the like north-south dimension instead of the east-west dimension, which the jet ski was traveling in. So the displacement of the jet ski in the y dimension is equal to its velocity times the time that it's traveling. So this calculation produces a displacement of 96.1 meters south, or down. In this case, we would probably have used negative. But regardless, the direction is 96.1 meters south. So that produces a resultant vector of, you have a velocity in the horizontal dimension and a velocity in the vertical direction, where these two vectors are being added together to produce one resultant vector. Now the question asks the velocity, and velocity has two things, direction and magnitude. Oh yeah, so the way to determine the direction is to use trigonometry, and both of these values are given, so I use the tangent So you can solve for the angle to show that this is 24.4 degrees by taking the inverse tangent of the opposite divided by the adjacent. So that's how you get the angle. But then the actual, and you could use the angle to determine the unknown side also, but I decided to use the Pythagorean theorem to show my work here, because this is one side and this is the other side of a right triangle. So a squared plus b squared will give you the hypotenuse squared. So in that way, I'm going to show that the magnitude of the displacement is 9.12 meters per second. And the direction is 24.4 degrees. And a lot of people are seeming to have trouble with, like, how do I phrase it? Is it east of south or south of east? But imagine you're the jet ski and you are traveling directly east. The angle is 24 degrees south of directly east. So that is the way that I would always frame it. Find which direction is on the coordinate system. So in this case, east is the one that we are referring to. And the angle is relative to the coordinate system that you have. And so since this is directly east, the resultant vector is 24 degrees south of that. So overall, the magnitude of the jet ski, it's asking it for both formats. Here are the two formats. The velocity of the jet ski relative to the land is 9.12 meters per second at 24.4 degrees south of east. Or you could say that the velocity has a horizontal magnitude of 8.3 meters per second east and a vertical velocity magnitude of 3.77 meters per second, and then the direction is to the south. So that's it. We can break this resultant vector into these two components, 8.3 meters east and 3.77 meters south. Or you can say the overall magnitude at a certain direction. Question 3 is the one that seems to be easy. Why can't you just say that the velocity of the jet ski will be north at 24 degrees? But the biggest difference that you need to understand is that the velocity of the jet ski doesn't change. The velocity of the river doesn't change. But if you change the direction that the jet ski is traveling, the resultant vector does change. Now, because your jet ski is no longer traveling directly on the coordinate system of east, west, or north and south, because it's traveling at an angle, this jet ski has two components. It has the y component and it has the x component. Because the y component is directly north and the river is directly south, those two velocities do end up conflicting and they cancel each other out. If you want to produce a resultant vector that is perpendicular to the starting point, you need to find a way to cancel out the north component of the jet ski with the south component of the river. And in that way, the resultant vector is actually less than the velocity of the jet ski by itself. You can see that the velocity of the jet ski becomes the hypotenuse. Whereas in the problem before this, the velocity that resulted was the hypotenuse. So our resultant vector now is definitely going to be shorter than the velocity of the jet ski. And so the way to determine this is to look at the angle. So we're going to determine the angle by looking at, I used the sine in this example. So the sine is the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. And so if you take the inverse sine of that ratio, you can produce an angle of 27 degrees. So the jet ski needs to travel 27 degrees north of east. So if you're facing directly east, this jet ski needs to travel at 27 degrees north of that. So that's the direction. Now, the question of how much time will this take depends on this final resultant vector. We know from previous problems that the displacement across the river in the x direction is 212 meters. So in this case, I used the Pythagorean theorem again to solve for the velocity of the resultant vector. I skipped some steps in algebra in showing my algebra, but the resultant vector squared is going to be equal to the jet ski's velocity squared minus the river's velocity squared. So then I took the square root. So that number is 7.39 meters per second. Since the resultant vector is the one that's in the horizontal distance, and the horizontal distance we know is 212, this is the one I made my mistake on units, but I fixed it, don't worry. Time is equal to displacement divided by velocity, and in this case, 212 divided by 7.39 is 28.7 seconds. The takeaway from both of these questions is that the diagrams are super important. If you can tell from your diagram that your vectors are being added together to produce a resultant vector that is larger than either one, that's going to give you a velocity that is larger than either one. But in problem 3, the resultant vector is due to the two vectors that are being combined actually produce some canceling out of the original vector. So your resultant vector is actually shorter than the original vector of the jet ski. That's it for group work 4. The next problems are asking you to rank this. I'll let you do this on your own. This is something we'll probably talk about in class. But if you have questions, you can come see your teacher, and good luck preparing for your test.